Hello Simpsons fans, yes I'm Max Blasto, and today we are going through the journey of The Simpsons on the PS2. Now of course The Simpsons has had a long line of video game history, dating all the way back to 1991. But I really think The Simpsons really hit their stride when the PS2 came roaring around. And we're going to look at the 4 games that were made for that system, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's get into it. First up for the PS2 was The Simpsons Road Rage, released in 2001. The game was a bold attempt to take the world of The Simpsons and rip it off by, doing Crazy Taxi instead. Was the game any good? It was okay. I had a decent time actually playing this game. I only owned this game on the Game Boy when I was a kid, so playing it for the first time, it did have some rough areas, but all in all, it's not a terrible game. Fun fact, Sega actually sued Fox Entertainment for copying Crazy Taxi's gameplay. Yeah, I could see why. If I had to give this game a 1 to 10, I would give it around a 6. That's probably the highest I would go with it. I could see it getting very repetitive at times, but to, unlock all those new characters and hear them say the same things 4,000 times, it could be fun, but just, I don't think it holds up as well as some of the other games we're going to talk about. So yeah, let's give Simpsons Road Rage a 6 out of 10. I'm sure it's only going to go up from here. Now, 1 year later in 2002, we saw one of the strangest entries in the Simpsons franchise, and that's Simpsons Skateboarding. With the massive success of games like Tony Hawk and other games of that sort, the Simpsons had to just copy that too. It worked so well for Road Rage. Players could choose from popular characters like Bart, who, obviously is the skateboarding kid, or the others like Nelson, Mr. Burns, I don't know, Marge? Who doesn't want to skateboard with Marge? Everyone! Unfortunately for Simpsons Skateboarding, it didn't quite stick the ollie. Critics panned this game for its clunky controls, awkward animations, and repetitive gameplay. It was seen as a quick cash grab for the skateboarding trend. And yeah, it's one of the worst Simpsons games of all time. It even earned a 2 out of 10 from most reviewers, and for me, I'll be a little kinder and I'll give it a 4, because I'm nice and I like The Simpsons a lot. But it's not a good game. But the next one is. Now let's move on to the undisputed king of Simpsons games. Simpsons Hit and Run, released in 2003, and yes, was a copy of another game, Grand Theft Auto. You might have heard of it. I don't know. It's a little indie title. But this game took Springfield to the next level, giving players an open-world environment to explore, complete missions, and interact with familiar characters. Now, they took this and ran with it, with a plot involving mysterious alien surveillance and Buzz Cola turning people into zombies. This game was packed with the signature Simpsons humor that we all know and love. Plus, you could play as different characters: Homer, Bart, Marge, Lisa, and even Apu, who doesn't exist anymore, apparently. The game was filled with so many Easter eggs and references to the iconic Simpsons show. It was just so amazing from start to end. Fun fact here is, yes, The Simpsons is a cult classic, and people have been wanting a remake for years. Even people have made their own. This is so cool. Pretty much the coolest thing I've ever seen. What do I give Simpsons Hit and Run? As it is a cult classic, and going back to it now has not lost a step. Easily, I give this game a 9, maybe even closer to that 10 out of 10. I mean, it is so much fun. It is the funniest video game I've ever played, and I can't wait to play this game over and over and over until they finally decide to make that remake we're all been clamoring for. And that was the end for the PS2. Kind of. So we finally arrived to the last Simpsons game released on the PS2. Unlike all the other video games, this was kind of its own thing. Not really stealing any liberties or any other video game ideas. This was the Simpsons game through and through. I mean, Homer could transform into an almighty Homer ball, Bart turned into Bartman, Marge used her mob of Springfieldians as her power, and Lisa could call on Buddha to solve puzzles. The game was packed with some hilarious cutscenes written by the show's writers, and the voice cast returned as well. Just like Hit and Run, it captured that Simpsons era magic that we all knew and loved. But was it good? This game basically took the video game genre and thought, what if we just made fun of it? And I think it actually worked really well. Looking at all that, I do think this game is not as good as Hit and Run, and that may be nostalgia just kicking me in the back of the head. Because this game is actually super, super fun, and really took what Hit and Run did great and made it its own. I would give this game around an 8 or maybe a 7.5 out of 10. It's still a blast, and I do think the PS3 version is the better version, but all in all, still an amazing game. Looking back, The Simpsons had a wild ride on the PS2. From the fast-paced chaos of Road Rage, to whatever Simpsons Skateboarding was, to the cult classic of Hit and Run and the self-aware fun of the Simpsons Game, each title brought something different to the table, giving fans hours and hours of fun in Springfield. While some of the games may have their ups and downs, one thing is super clear. The Simpsons gaming wasn't always perfect, but it was always fun to wreak havoc in Springfield. So, which Simpsons game was your favorite on the PS2? Did you love causing mayhem in Hit and Run, or did you secretly enjoy Simpsons Skateboarding more than you'd like to admit? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This will be the first of a big series I'm working on this channel of looking back at the PS2 and the great games that came along with it.